Hey guys, this is Lucid, and we're back. I'm going to be doing the pretender design for the upcoming game with Lady Jom, and yeah, hopefully you saw the national overview. Uh, there's a few things I should mention. So we're playing with Dominions Enhanced. We're also playing with a mod that Boz, the guy who hosted this game, made, and it adds a few pretenders. It adds some other things which I don't really care for. Like it adds gym generation items, which I really think is a bad design decision. But it adds some pretenders, and there's some things I really like about the pretenders it adds. One thing is it just makes all the normal dragons usually a bit scarier, gives them more protection, which I don't love just buffing things protection, but like this guy, some of these things are changes from DE. I'm pretty sure all these become scarier. Like I think the nature one gets like poison cloud. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But in addition to buffing the normal dragons, there's a bunch of new dragons, and he kind of wanted dragons to actually be scary rather than things you just send, a budget thug to kill. And so there's a few of them. I'll talk about some of them. There's this one, which is a soulless dragon. So it's a mindless. It tramples. It's a corpse eater. It's a dragon master, which I think all the dragons are in this. All the pretenders have recuperation in DE. It's flying, which actually apparently was a bug. Apparently it was not meant to fly. It's inanimate. And then it's got the normal kind of blunt and pierce resistant, which you would see on a big bloated corpse. And it has fear. It has plague breath. This is like which actually is a really good breath for a lot of things, but it's going to cause just a tremendous amount of fear. This thing makes stuff rout really easily. I think the Draco Lich gets it or something. I forget exactly what gets it in vanilla, but there's some dragon, like a dead dragon, that gets this in vanilla too. And it's got decent melee attacks. So anyway, this is the thing. It's good. This actually is the one we're going to pick. I'm going to come back and talk about it later. The next dragon, Sanguine dragon, it gets this thing, which causes basically agony, I believe, to be cast around it. Something basically like that. So it's going to rout things. And at the start of combat, it casts blood rain. So you have this guy that is going to be spamming agony, which is a fear effect. It has fear, and it does -4 or 5 whatever morale at the beginning of combat for all units on the field due to blood rain. So pretty strong. It also has blood vengeance. Seems really, really strong. In a lot of the play tests, when we were kind of testing this, I tested this out to see how much I liked it. You can obviously see the effect of how it could be good in combination with any kind of fear play early in the game, because blood rain's coming out super early for like a big battle. For expansion, it actually can kind of struggle. A lot of times it can work, but it's got curse, so it's going to take a ton of afflictions. It doesn't have high protection, so it kind of gets beat up. I don't think this actually is like an overpowered in any way. It's also got really high blood searching, but I don't know. It could be good. It's interesting for sure. But I think it's a little too janky for me. And then you have the Crystal Dragon, which is one of the other mindless dragons. It's kind of like a Wizard of Oz kind of contraption. And yeah, it's got slash and pierce resistant. It has really good magic paths. It's Earth Astral. And it has 20 protection, which is really good. It is, I think it gains power and drain, is what this means. Magic power -1. And it decreases unrest, I guess, because people are wowed by the beauty of it. It also generates a pearl a turn. So anyway, this is pretty cool because it doesn't have a breath attack, so it has to melee everything, and it's got awe and fear, which is a good combo. It can magic phase, which is kind of nice. And it's got, these are really good cross paths. I don't know, it's a good thing. I definitely thought about taking this. And I don't think there's anything else. There's a bunch of other dragons. We don't have access to all of them, but if you want, I'll try. If I don't, remind me. I'll put a link in the description to the mod so you can get it and play around with it. We're gonna this is another one it adds, the singularity, which is Corpse Eater 15, which is more than twice that of the zombie dragon. It's a ridiculous amount. And this is trample and pop killer 1,000. So you have to be pretty careful about where you use it because it's going to demolish provinces. But if you keep it in enemy lands, how bad is that pop killer 1,000 really? But it's got built-in regen. If you take it with undead regen, and then put a ring of regen on it, you could be up to 30 regen pretty darn quick. And the fact that this thing can get in the course of a game up to 1,000 HP, you can start to see how crazy things might be happening. But anyway, that's another one that's unique to Bosmos. So is this guy. He's unique too. We're not going to talk about all of them. I'm going to talk about this guy. So why did I get... and they're also reasonably cheap. He's what? How expensive is he? 240. That's a little pricey, but we're not going to be putting much into him. We put I think we put 5 death into him or something like that. Oh no, we have to put 6 because we want reforming flesh. And he's going to be a big bag of HP later too. He won't get nearly as much as the singularity, but he's going to get a fair amount. He's going to be a pretty big monster. We're not going to do any cross paths. That's going to be the entire investment. We're going to keep him awake, and with Ulm, we're going to want the productivity. I think I actually end up wanting the order too. We don't need any extra dominion really. We're going to want growth 3. We can I think we tank this to heat 3, and we're going to get luck -2, and I think we do drain as well. I think this is pretty close to our build. The thinking behind this is as follows. We're going to use probably mostly our expensive mages to research, which is going to mitigate somewhat the impact of drain. And we're going to be getting research boosters. And we just want to pay for it. This guy is going to be a beast. He's going to help a lot with expansion. One of the things when you do scales expansion is, getting your cap resources available to supercharge your expansion early can really help. And this is a really big map, so there's a ton of room for snowballing. Whereas if you're playing on a map nuke map, there's not a lot of room for snowballing. And people are going to be much more closely coordinated in diplomacy and trying to take you down. Everything I can tell from how I've thought about this is you need to be very, very aggressive in these games. Otherwise, if you're going to win, you have to be eating you have to have systems for eating nations. You can't just it's not a thing you do once. You have to do it all the time. So to do that, we need to be really big and really aggressive. And this guy is going to make sure we're going to be really big coming out of expansion. We have great income after this. And he's going to also help me win my first war. Because having this guy flying and trampling your backline will be absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And one of the other reasons he's particularly good on Ulm for DE is we are a blood nation, so we will empower him in blood, which will be trivial for us. And once he gets a certain amount of blood, we can just do he only needs blood 1 actually. We can do bat transformation, and our big zombie dragon turns into a bunch of flying bats and reconstitutes himself on top of some enemy party. And I hope they're set up to deal with some zombie dragon that's regenerating 30 HP a turn and has fear and disease aura and is going to be trampling the shit out of them and spraying fear breath at them. Good luck. And so that's the early game thing is we'll have bat transformation reasonably early. This guy's going to be a beast in expansion. He's going to be a beast in my first war on the defensive, even potentially on the offensive. And one of the nice things about Corpse Eater is it gives you bonus HP that is independent of your Dominion. So if you get 300 bonus HP, you could go into 10 enemy Dominion where your 160 hit points effectively disappears, but you're still going to be a 300 HP dude. So in the later part of the game, it matters more. You can basically forget about Dominion. In the early part of the game, you're still going to have like a bonus 80 hit points or something in enemy Dominion. Now, you're not going to have your Bless, but, you can still roll over some stuff. So, this guy is a pretty big badass. He's going to scale pretty well with HP and stuff into the late game. And there's some really cool mid-game stuff he can do, too. I had mentioned already the Bat transformation, and I had mentioned Empowering in Blood. Empowering in Blood is extra good on him because he's mindless, which means we can't get horror marked from Empowering in Blood. We can empower all day. We can empower him to Blood 9, and he wouldn't have any horror marks. So that's nice, right? Mitigate one of the downsides of Blood Empowering. Now, do we want to empower up to Blood 9? Probably not. But what might we want to cast? We might want to empower him all the way up to Blood 5. And at Blood 5, we can cast Hell Power. And you may say, why would we ever want to cast Hell Power? Well, it's going to give us bonus 2 to Magic Pass, so we're going to become like Death 6. I mean, we're going to become Death 8, which is kind of cool. It's going to give us a bunch of Reinvigoration. It's going to give us 5 attack and defense. It's going to give us, I think, 4 bonus natural protection, which is going to stack with this. It's going to put us up at 17 natural protection. It's going to give us bonus MR. There's a lot of good reasons to cast Hell Power. What are the downsides of casting Hell Power? You get harm marked. Oh, wait, we're mindless. We don't care about that. In fact, we'll be not very likely to be targeted by horrors. So this guy could do really cool stuff with blood magic. Later, we can empower him in Earth, and then when we cast Hell Power, the Earth will go up to Earth 3 because we're getting a bonus 2 Magic Pass. That will trigger us to get a bonus 3 protection, which is going to stack with everything. So it's going to take us up to, we went from 13 to 17, I think. And then we're going to go from 17 to 20, right? And then we can empower him in Astral too, maybe. And then he can do Power of the Spheres. And then he's going to be a wildly high mage that is a side benefit because we didn't even waste the scripting slot. If we do Power of the Spheres and Hell Power, he's going to be up to 21 natural protection. And there's going to be ways to stack this even higher. But this guy in the mid-late game will be like a caster supreme. He will be extremely hard to kill. You can't target him with Soul Slay. He's going to have a ton of... one of the things about being undead is there's a lot of stuff that does armor negating damage, like Wither Bones, Dust to Dust. But when you have 600 hit points and you're regenerating 1,000,000 hit points a turn, you don't really care about, a Dust to Dust or Wither Bones here or there. Anyway, I mean, like all things, they can be killed. And this guy can totally be killed. But I think he's a great balance of what we need as we need death magic that we can empower in blood. Or we would need to, get blood too. Like pick it on our chassis. But we need access to basically vampires, all right? And this guy is going to give it by empowering him in blood. And by empowering him in blood, we're going to also be allowing him to magic phase and do all the cool mid-game sort of stuff. He's going to massively turbocharge our early game. He's going to make our first war a lot easier. There's just a lot of good stuff about this guy. And it's also super thematic. I mean, Zombie Dragon, head of the Vampire Nation. Oh, hell yeah. So anyway, that's it. Let's actually see the one that we actually picked. So I can show you. Mr. Wiggles. I think this is the guy in I think this is the cat in Pineapple Express. It's okay. We went Dominion 4. We maxed out order because we're going to be focusing more on Rangers than on the other stuff, but we have 2 production. We only went with Drain 3. The last Drain hits you harder than the first. So there we go. These are the paths we got. I feel pretty okay with this. Maybe it's not super optimal, but it's pretty okay. So Mr. Wiggles, the Soulless Dragon. See you all in the next episode. Peace.